Okay, hello and welcome back to another brand new episode of Coffee Random Podcast with Sid. Today, joining me on this episode are friends from various places. Nidhi ma'am, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Then we have Janvi. Janvi, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. And then we have Natasha. Natasha from college. Say hi, Natasha.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. So something has happened in recent times, which has led all of us to talk about a certain topic. So I wanted to contribute myself on this particular topic, but I realized that I'm not the best person to give or impart any kind of knowledge upon. So basically, I'm just a person who has questions. So I went and I scrolled in my contact list looking for people who could help, and I came across all of these guys. And their introduction is really difficult, so I'm going to let them do it for themselves. Nidhi ma'am, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yes. Hi, this is Nidhi, and I have done my master's in psychology from Mumbai University, and I've been working with students since past 3 years. So, and I would love to contribute in any way possible in terms of mental health for students.
Yes, thank you, Nidhi ma'am. Janvi,
You.
introduce yourself, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Janvi and I've completed my master's in clinical psychology. I've been working as a special needs therapist, and in the past I was working as a counselor for a year. And knowing that this issue is coming up, like, you know, in the recent times, I think it's a really good initiative from Siddharth to have like a podcast for all the
True.
people who are just maybe wanting to reach out. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, my pleasure. And Natasha, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Natasha from, actually, I'm pursuing IT engineering from Atharva College. That's how we met. And yeah, I've been passionate about spreading awareness about mental health for quite some time now because, like, most of us from college and since school, we know what mental health is and how it affects us. So I didn't want many people to suffer and be alone. So I started a group and where we can share our thoughts and not feel judged. Thanks,
Okay,
Siddharth, for inviting.
you are most welcome. In fact, it's my pleasure having a talk with all of you guys. My first very layman question addressed to all of you guys is that what exactly is mental health? Okay, because from decades or right from the time we are born, we've been told that it is very important for us to be physically fit. ज़्यादा overweight नहीं होना है, ज़्यादा पतला नहीं रहना है. You should have a healthy body. But no one has really spoken a lot about mental health. So my question to all of you guys is, what exactly is mental health?
Yeah. So, as you said, you've created a very good analogy that mental health is actually no different than physical health, and it is as important and as necessary as physical health is. People usually have this idea in mind that being mentally healthy, or if I talk about mental health, it has to be a person who is always happy or very much composed or very much in control and all. So mental health definitely does not mean that you, like, even a mentally healthy person can have bad days, can have a bit days when he or she is a little bit off, not feeling like doing anything, and that's okay. But when that thing starts coming or interfering with your day-to-day functioning, that is when we say that there is a problem with the person's mental health, and then that person should be empowered with what that person can do in that situation. So yes, it's very very similar to and as important as physical health is.
Okay. Janvi, would you like to add anything to that? Or Natasha also?
Uh, I think, as Nidhi rightly said, that when it starts affecting your daily functioning, that's when the issue starts rising up. Otherwise, most of us go through a lot of hard sort of times, and I think most of us know how to deal with more or less, our issues. The main challenge comes when there is a lot of stigma around the issue particularly. So, for example, I know people who have been through a lot of hard times and they were not able to deal with it. They did not seek any kind of help for it. So, I think mental health is something that is very common, like very how do I say? It's not like a specific definition per se. There is no specific definition. Just like we can see our body, we can say, okay, this is my physical health. But with mental health, it's more or less how your feelings are or your emotions are. It's around that.
Okay. 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 Cool. Sorry. So the question that I was going to ask is that we live in a times where things are very competitive. Okay, and the world is really very busy. Okay, nobody. If you see in 24 hours, 8 to 10 hours we are working. Then majority of the time we are on social media, and then this, then that, then this, then that. So how do you know that what exactly is hampering my mental health or is hampering my mental space? Because you're so busy, how could you actually say that doing this thing is hampering my mental space or doing this thing is hampering my mental space?
Okay, good question actually, because our routine actually doesn't give us a chance to stop and think about it mindfully that what exactly is hampering me. But maybe what works for me is if you just take a day or two and actually consciously think about, like, in what situation and what and how am I feeling, or what part of my routine is making me feel in what way. So I think that can maybe help a person in identifying that, okay, this is where the problem area is. Maybe, or maybe Jan, we can add in. Or
So I think most of us are just how do I put it? Most of us are like the local trains in Mumbai. They're just running from this end to that end. They are not
Correct.
really uh, looking at the journey, looking at what exactly is happening with us. So I think we should just sometimes, not always, but pause and just reflect on our day. Like every day, just take out 5 minutes max to just think about how your day was, what were your feelings maybe, or if you felt bad about something, then just I think only when you start thinking about all these things and not running away from them is when you realize what exactly is,
Yeah,
Hampering.
something is
I do
something
this.
that's bothering you.
Yeah.
Right. So, like you said, Jani, I do this thing. I have this diary in which at the end of the day I'll write down 5 things that were nice about my day and 5 things where I felt I lacked a little bit, or things that were not nice and I did not react the way I should have, or things like that. That makes me, introspect a little bit and give it a pause and maybe improve the next day, things like that.
Okay. And about your physical health, that you know that if you do not do certain things, you're going to end up in bad health. Okay. Now, similarly with mental health, what could go wrong with you if you do not take care of your mental health? Like I hear people talking about depression, but I don't think so that depression is the only thing, at least in my knowledge, that depression is the only thing that could go wrong. What could go wrong if you seriously do not take care of your mental health?
um, so when it comes to taking care in literal sense of your mental health, it involves many aspects to it. Like people have different ways of letting things out. Like not all people will be comfortable talking to someone. People have different ways, like through art or through music or through different things. Now when this letting out thing has a blockage in between, when I am not able to put out what I actually feel, initially it might go fine, like, okay, no, I'm not having any problem, but then there comes a time when it has to like burst out. So
Hmm.
then can be many issues, like we hear students having anxiety attacks or panic attacks in school, very young children, because they don't have a let out, a medium to let out, because maybe both parents are working, or they spend most of the time on social media, etc. So that is what we see. Most of the students having depression, as you said, is the number one symptom that we see in students today. Apart from that, panic attacks or a lot of anxiety in students, or the kind of actually these are the general terms that we see. Then obviously it can be narrowed down to a lot of things.
So there's Okay, so there's no specific prescription to, taking care of your mental health or like a perfect recipe around it. But as far as my knowledge is concerned, all you have to take care most of the times you have to take care of your diet and the attitude that you have towards your environment, because most of the times when we lack certain vitamins and certain proteins, you might have some biological changes happening in your mind. Secondly, as I said, your attitude towards the environment that you are in, and the thoughts that you have around your environment specifically.
Okay. And see, nowadays, I think that there are a lot of ways that could affect our thoughts. Like earlier, if there was some piece of information that was to come from somewhere, it would take certain
Hmm.
amount of time where it would come from. But nowadays, I feel like we guys live in a world of instant gratification. Like everything is just instant. I remember 10 years back, or at least 5 years back also, when you wanted to watch a series, you'd have to actually wait one day a week where you have to watch an episode, then you have to wait in the next week you'll watch the another episode. Nowadays what we guys do is just binge. Okay, then on social media there are so many things happening that could affect our thoughts, or so many things happening, general on forums, everywhere on the internet. So with so much happening around us in the world, how exactly do we know? Because Janvi spoke something, that the type of thoughts that we have. So, how does this entire interconnected Maya Jal affect us and our thoughts? And could it actually, because I was reading some articles where it could say that how exactly social media is bad for your mental health. But then the question that aroused in my mind is that if you want to be connected to the world, you cannot be disconnected from social media. So, how do we take care that it does not affect us in a way?
So for this, I believe like for last 1 month I was off Instagram because it was too much. But then I realized that I could, select the people that I follow. Just selectively choose people or pages that I am following. Things that give me positivity instead of things that bring negativity. So if we can filter that out, I think we can reduce the problem a little bit. Not completely, definitely never completely, but maybe a little bit.
Okay, because the type of content that someone posts is really not something that we can control. Okay, suppose today I'm in a good mood and I'm posting something very nice, very motivational. Then next day something bad happens and I start posting something bad. So what can we do to, that okay, we know that this person something is happening, but let it not affect me. You could give maybe a pep talk or something that actually helps in this world.
Yeah, so first of all, as you said about instant gratification, that plays a huge role in how people are dealing with things in real life actually. Because people are so much habituated to like, okay, I want this and I have this. But in real life, in outside world, things don't work that way. So when it comes to reading books or studying or maybe actually having your own something like people want ki yaar, in one attempt why didn't I become successful? Why didn't I hit it in the first go? So when they first fail or face failure or when things take time, require patience, that is what the students or people in general are not able to handle that. Because like why am I not getting what I want immediately? So that actually plays a huge role, which in turn leads to maybe depression or whatever you say. So that actually plays a huge role because I don't get what I want immediately. Secondly, as you said, what can we do? First is uh, we know I mean, children are going to be exposed to social media from a very young age. Now we don't have an like escape from that. But when you teach children from a very young age that what you are showing to the outside world is your best side, and that is what your friends or other people are doing. You're never going to show the day when you cried, or never going to show the day when you failed. That is what the world is putting up on social media, but then their life is also as normal as yours is. Now when this realization is given to children right from the young age, when they are starting to get exposed to social media, I think it can be, I can't say it will be like gone ekdam se, but maybe it can be reduced a bit if you teach them to use social media intelligently.
Correct.
That can be one thing maybe.
Okay. And also there is one thing that I would particularly like to ask you guys. Okay. So nowadays, I don't know why on internet and everywhere in some schools and in majority classes and everything, I don't see people talking about hobbies. Okay. Like you just do something for fun. What I see is that everyone is want to, some way impart on students that okay, no, you have got to hustle, you've got to hustle, you've got to hustle, no days off, you've got one life, you've got to do this, you've got to do. But what happened to good old hobbies when you just have them? I mean, this is the time where you take out and do something that you do. Like for me, it is creating content on YouTube. For someone, it would be painting. But what has happened, and is us affecting, forgetting our hobbies, also affecting our mental health in some way?
Yes, definitely, definitely. As Siddharth, I was much into music and singing and all. So, but there were like past 3 to 4 years, I also became a victim of this, and I completely left music aside. But then I did not realize it immediately. But once I restarted music, is when I realized that it used to make me so much happy, and I was missing out on so much. So yeah, I actually agree with this, that hobbies can be a medium to, like, as you said, what can we do to improve our mental health. So hobby is a big way to improve your mental health, investing in your hobbies and your leisure time. So yes, not having one or not giving time to it can affect your mental health. Yes.
Okay, Natasha, do you have a say? And Janvi, you.
I really agree. Like hobbies, even just some time to take out and be away from that hustle of the world, a little pause. I think yes, it helps you improve your mental health a lot. That 10-15 minutes of the day also makes a very big difference.
Okay,
True.
Janvi.
So I think hobbies for me particularly play like self-care. So I really like cooking and painting stuff. Sometimes just scribbling on the paper is also fine sometimes. But I think that is like very important for me particularly, and I think most of us don't really talk more about hobbies nowadays because they are so much into showing, like my art form, even if it's not that great, I can't post it. So people just want to show what they are best at and not something that they are fine, or they feel they'll get judged or something like that sort of. So I think that's why people are not really portraying or showing how much they are into their hobbies, but they're just into showing their selfies or stuff
How
like
good
that,
they are at it.
Yeah.
which really is, I mean,
And I mean, see, no matter how good you are, if you are going to put it out on social media, let's say 99% of the people say that okay, you've done well, and there is going to be that 1% or maybe more, maybe less, who says that okay, you've not done well. Okay, so if I think so, the problem is that if we are focusing on that 1% and absolutely forgetting about the 99%, so I think so that is something that is again hitting us and taking us down. So with all this being imparted, and especially with how the technology and everything nowadays is changing, and I believe that there would be tremendous. Nidhi would be able to guide us better on this topic. That there would be tremendous amount of pressure on students who are preparing for competitive exams. Okay, because we all know the number of seats are less, the number of people trying to get in are huge, and you have to study for certain amount, you have to study a certain number of pages. Okay, so that I think in a way, that entire environment in some way, it affects me as a student, because that was eventually that is going to lead to me leaving aside something that I used to do for fun, cutting back on time. So how should or parents also play a huge role in this, of course. So how do students deal with this, and what is it that parents could do that could help them in dealing with this?
Yeah, true. So I feel when it comes to this scenario, like we've heard these stories a lot, and people come and talk to us, कि अब क्या करें? So I think there are 2 to 3 aspects that come into the picture. One is people have spoken this about a lot. I agree. Our education system is a bit of not letting you not letting the talent in you come out, or maybe it is all about memorization and how much you can remember and then put it on the paper. I agree with that. And also there's a lot been spoken about कि competition ज़्यादा है और seats कम है, so unhealthy competition. But there are 2 3 aspects now. All these things spoken about today itself. But what it's better to talk about. One thing is that a child who is going into this career or maybe field, I say, should be well prepared कि this is what I'm going to face, and should be mentally prepared कि ये मेरे साथ होने वाला है. Now, when it comes to selection of a career, a selection of a career, we always guide our students for this, that when you're selecting a career, don't just see about how much I'm able to earn or what subjects I'm studying, but also think about, do you have the capacity to put in what needs to be put inside it. Another thing, parents' pressure obviously is a real thing. Like, there are students who actually don't want to pursue or get into a field which requires an entrance exam, but they are forced into it by their parents due to their aspirations. So obviously parents need to tell them that it's okay, you can do whatever you want to, and your life is not defined by how much successful academically you are. So when this idea is put into a child right from very beginning, the competition wala phase kabhi aata hi nahi hai. Because we've always, like Janvi will agree, we've studied this in counseling, that we are always told about conditional acceptance. कि तुम ये करोगे, then you are good. If you score so much, then you are a good boy. If you do this, then you are a good girl. So
Yeah,
if I don't do that,
will let you do something.
yeah. So it as the child मेरे अंदर ये एक image form होता है, ये perception form होता है कि if I don't do this, means I'm not loved by my parents, or I'm not accepted by my teachers, or I'm not accepted by my group. So when ये idea जब आप खत्म कर देते हो कि you as a person are separate and your marks are separate from what you are, and you are accepted the you are, तो ये काफी mental pressure कम कर देता है on the student. I agree, when it comes to competitive exams, it requires a lot of persistence. When you choose a career, who are with in touch with books, always make these things clear. अगर आप पैरामीटर देख के अगर कोई करियर चूज करते हो, then it might not be a problem. And I feel teachers also play a this. Like I agree कि आप syllabus change नहीं कर सकते, curriculum change, concept of exams or how the person has to prepare. I think it can make a huge difference, because we've seen that happening. So I can say it confidently that it can happen. Pressure है, competition है, I agree, but it can be dealt with. Then telling them to run away from the pressure or not giving any pressure to the students, it better be help and them to deal with the pressure. That will be more productive.
Okay. Now, Nidhi, see, you said one point. Okay, when that parents are telling child to perceive something. Okay. So now one point that I think so, that if I were in their shoes and if I had to consider, is that me at the age of 14, I am not really capable of deciding that this is what I want to do. Because in so many children's second standard mein I wanted to be an astronaut, fourth standard mein I want to be a cricketer, 10th standard mein aake I want to be a banker, or maybe I just want to do something that my friends are doing. So in certain situations, the parents are like, okay, now maybe we should take a step back and let us decide for you, because you are not able to decide it by yourself, which to I think certain degree is correct also. So how could we deal with this entire situation?
This situation can be dealt when the decision is not made entirely by the parents and entirely by the student. So when it comes to both of them sitting together and discussing कि okay तुम्हारा school का जो journey रहा है, this has been कि you have been good at these subjects, you've been good at these things, and this is what you've liked. When both of them sit together, they discuss about कि okay, this is what your personality kind of is. You are a person who is more like, maybe people oriented, who likes to talk to people and likes to socialize a lot. So you might not fit into a field which requires you to sit for 12 hours with your books. So when this decision is made mutually, considering what the since his school life altogether, and considering if a child is saying कि मुझे ये करना है, sit with that child and ask what is the reason you are saying this. Have you heard someone talking about it, or have you has someone told you about it? Do you have any idea what the field is like? When the decision is made in this way, that is how you can help make the right choice, where ऐसा भी नहीं है कि parents are completely making the decision, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि student is incapable जो decision ले रहा है वो. So I think that way it can be mutualized.
Okay. And any general suggestions? And it's an open question. Any general suggestions? See, now pressure in life is something that we guys cannot avoid. Okay, because our life is moving at such a pace where you are going to feel pressurized in a certain way. No matter if you choose arts, you choose commerce, you choose engineering, everyone is going to have different kinds of pressures. Okay, engineering वालों को submission का pressure है, arts वालों को maybe किसी और चीज का pressure है, commerce वालों को और चीज का pressure है. But pressure is something that is going to be there throughout in your student life. Okay, maybe you have a bad teacher, or maybe there is something that is ki pressure hai. So how do we deal with this? Because what many people do is that they put their guard down कि okay, pressure hai to bas khatam, I am not able to take it, so I'm just going to let it go. Okay, which may not be the best decision. So how, at student level, at corporate level it's of course different, so we'll come to that later. So at student level, how could you actually deal with pressure?
Yeah. So as you said, pressure is something we cannot avoid. Obviously, it's going to be there at every phase of life. It comes to building a personality right from the very childhood, a kind of a resilient personality. Resilience, say what I mean is like a person who can bounce back on situations. Now, if थोड़ा सा बोलते हैं and they get that thing, which actually I understand it's the parents' love for them, but then it is also playing a role in them not becoming a strong or a resilient personality, because failures are always going to be there. If if a person is always habituated to succeeding in life, that person obviously has to face failure somewhere. So it's I've read this somewhere, it's about programming your mind for failure also, and how to deal with failure. So I think that जब बचपन से ये रूट्स बनाए जाते हैं that okay, it's okay to fail, now let's work on this together. जब ये पेरेंट्स से आता है बचपन से, even from teachers, that is how you build that kind of personality which can deal with pressures in a good way.
Correct. And do you think that, see, I have personally been a believer in this, that the type of teachers you get, okay, they really shape you in life right from your childhood. Okay. So today, if I can speak in a particular way, or if I can deliver content in a particular way, it's because some of my teachers have pushed me towards this, and they have shaped me right from childhood. But see, what I personally feel now, I don't think so that there is one particular person or one particular system that we can blame this upon. Okay. Now, marks is something जो सबको चाहिए, अच्छे चाहिए. Every as a parent आपको ऐसा चाहिए रहेगा कि हाँ ठीक है, you should understand also, but उसके साथ में if you want to reach somewhere, then you need a certain set of marks. Okay. तो इसमें कभी कभी टीचर्स की तरफ से क्या हो जाता है that we are continuously talking about the syllabus, but we are not talking about other things. So what could teachers do that could help students in a certain way.
Yeah, very true. So, in an educational setup, when we talk about, as you said, marks, no matter how much we say this doesn't decide my life or anything, but marks do matter. Wherever you want admission or wherever you want to reach, marks चाहिए होंगे. So, obviously, teachers के लिए कभी-कभी
Because
difficult हो जाता है. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
because as of today we do not have any other marker to decide whether you know
Exactly.
something or not. And I think so now that companies are changing policies and everything.
Hmm.
Natasha would agree that now companies are very open that we have a certain
Yeah.
hackathon, you participate in it. If you're good enough,
Hmm.
you'll crack it, you'll get the job. But we do not have
True.
the same thing for admissions, right? So that is the only
Very
marker that we have right now.
true. And when it comes to such a huge population, actually, it is difficult to have such a marker, and it becomes difficult for the teachers also to, at a point of time, not give importance to marks. But if we talk about having an educational setup along with having a marks-oriented environment, I think we can also have certain things that also contribute to, not children not succumbing to that pressure. For example, we often discuss about ideas like having an open door policy. Right from a batch, from when a batch enters, tell them about what they are going to face. Tell them like be prepared. It's okay. You might have phases like this. You might have phases like you want to quit. You might have phases like you can't do this anymore or this is too much for you. That's okay. My doors are open for you. You can talk to me, come to me, and talk to me anytime. Having a system where you tell them what they are going to experience, they might have this, they are prepared for it, and they know what to do in case that happens. That is
Okay.
one thing that can be done. Also, having someone who regularly interacts with the children in completely non-academic way. If a person goes to the children and talks only about nothing about the syllabus, nothing about the marks, but just in a non-academic way, so that the person can, the children can gel up with that person. That also can help. Having certain, awareness days or awareness weeks or something for the children, where you're not actually hampering their syllabus or anything, but just letting them know that it might happen, and if it does, then this is what you can do. So I think that is the way it can be dealt in one way, according to me, because obviously it for teachers it becomes difficult to not give importance to marks, because that is what they have to do. They have to produce
Correct.
results for them. So this
Correct.
is one way it can be done, as per my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Moving from student life to corporate life. Okay. In student life, when you make mistakes, uh, you get affected. At most, your group gets affected. But when you come to corporate and when you make mistakes, then there is a risk that an entire organization is getting affected. ओके एंड यू माइट एक्चुअली बोलते हैं ना कि धब्बा लग सकता है बहुत बड़े इस पे. सो जो हायरार्की है या फिर जो भी है उनका ऑब्वियसली एक अमाउंट ऑफ प्रेशर होगा आप पे. And corporate pressure is, I think it is going to be something that is very different than student pressure. So how do people coming in corporate life also, and people who've been in corporate life, how do we guys deal with this pressure, Jan?
Okay, so personally, I haven't worked in any corporate setting per se, but I have seen a lot of my friends working day in day out in corporates, and seen how they are glued to the laptops most of the times. And basically, what the offices can do is they can take up initiatives and together have like a counselor, or like the HR could have few policies where they have to follow certain protocols in order to not have a lot of pressure on the people who are working there. So I think that could work for them.
Okay. See, dealing with failures in student life is one thing, and dealing with failures in corporate life is something. Okay. In both places, what I think is, if we just fail at something, what could affect us is what people taunting us could affect us in at most. So how do we deal with this? When people are actually taunting us and everything. In this environment, it is really difficult to be in a positive state of mind. So how do we deal with this?
So specifically, I think having a healthy work and ethics to practice at their workplace. Like nobody should be taunting each other, or nobody should be talking behind each other's back. So the whole point boils down to team building. How good your team is with each other. Like for example, if all four of us are like a team, how much are we appreciating each other's work? And for example, if Nidhi is given certain amount of work, and Natasha is given certain amount of work, and you are giving certain amount of work, and for XYZ reasons, I was done with the work assigned earlier than you guys. Okay,
Okay.
so am I going to come, and check with you guys whether you need any kind of assistance, or you guys need any kind of help, or if you could just convey to each other, look, like so and so, if you are stuck somewhere, तो ऐसा ऐसा करेंगे तो फास्ट हो जाएगा काम, या फिर इनसे बात कर ले, ये तुझे बेटर हेल्प करेंगे. So
So
this
instead of
all again comes.
Yeah, so instead
Yeah,
of actually taunting someone, if you go, matlab, he might be a teammate or you might be a superior to him. If you go and actually try to help, then it would,
hmm.
I think that is something that would just create more throughput in the organization.
I think also I'd like to add one more point to what you're just suggesting, is having good communication amongst your team specifically. So if at all, I have you all ever played the game Chinese Whispers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In
So
engineering, it's played in a very different
so
way, but okay, let's not get into the specifics of it.
okay. That plays like that is the whole crux of what I'm trying to tell you guys here. So communication is a key point here. Like if you don't communicate that you are having certain X number of issues with your work, obviously the other team member won't ever understand. जब तक आप बात नहीं करोगे तब तक किसी और को समझने नहीं वाला है, because no one can read your mind, to be honest. And personally, I think all of us are so busy with our own assigned work that we won't really have that much time to go ahead and just check on, tomorrow I won't just call up Siddharth and ask him, hey, hi, how are you doing? काम कैसा चल रहा है? So I think step one is to just go ahead and ask for help and not shy away to, get any kind of feedback. Obviously, receiving feedback is also very important. Again.
Can I add on to this
Yeah, 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 sure.
a little bit? Yes, just summarizing what Janvi said. I think the company's culture matters a lot. Like, what kind of culture or core values you as a company develop within your employees, and that also comes down to training your employees in that culture. So people in your company will come from different backgrounds, from different places, so you don't have control on that. बट लोग यूजुअली टेक्निकल ट्रेनिंग पे ज्यादा ध्यान देते हैं इन एनी कंपनी, बट द कल्चर ट्रेनिंग इज समवेयर दैट इज नॉट वेरी मच टेकन केयर ऑफ. तो अगर कल्चर ट्रेनिंग अगर होता है वेर द पीपल ब्रीथ एंड लिव द सेम वैल्यूज, देन दिस problem can be solved to a huge extent. When people practice communication, as she said, in a very regular way, जैसे daily life के तरह, so it doesn't pose to be that big a problem अगर culture training ना हो तो. At the same time, culture training is something जो company के हाथ में होता है. If I am an employee, I don't have control on that whether my company does culture training or has that kind of a culture or no. That at that time I need to guard myself for my own. I don't have control on what others say or feel about me. So that is where my self-worth or my self-image comes into the picture. That how strong a self-image I have for myself that the other people's opinion don't directly attack on me. I can take it as a feedback, like okay, ye hai, these are the things I can work on, these other things are not in my control. So that is when you can take it a little bit of in a manageable way.
Okay. Okay. Now moving on to Let's Talk Therapy initiative that Natasha has, and I'd like her to speak something about it.
Okay, so Let's Talk Therapy started as a WhatsApp group, and initially it was with I think 10-15 people, and now we are a group of 200 people. The main aim of the group was to not let people feel alone. So what we do there is we had certain therapists on board, and all the people that were there, we used to assign every day of the week with a particular topic. Like today's depression, tomorrow's anxiety, there were sexual issues and sexuality issues also, and there were relationships. All these topics were assigned for a particular day, and every day people used to share. Like say today I have relationship issues, so I'll write the entire paragraph or send a voice note and I'll send it on the group. And if others have experienced it, they'll be like, like a support ki aap akele nahi ho. Even we've been through the same kind of problems. And then there's a therapist who will address the problem ki अगर ये चीजें हो रही हैं, so this is what you can do, this is how you can communicate with your partner, and this is the correct way to communicate with your partner. Even like the way we speak matters in crucial matters. So these kinds of things were taken care of. And yeah, so recently now we are like focusing on self love, because I think that's the crux of solving any issue for that matter. So
Hmm.
more like अगर खुद से प्यार है तो दूसरों का ओपिनियन इतना मैटर नहीं करता है. So taking care of ourselves and being more open about how you're feeling. कि feelings के बारे में बात करना is not shameful or it's not weak. Being vulnerable is a strength. All these kinds of values need to be imparted. Also, we are trying to raise awareness about psychology क्या है, थेरेपी क्या होता है, हु इज अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट, हु इज अ साइकाइट्रिस्ट, डिफरेंस क्या है, क्यों है, एंड ऑल दिस काइंड्स ऑफ थिंग्स. सम पीपल थिंक कि इफ आई एम आस्किंग फॉर हेल्प, ऑल दे आर गोइंग टू गिव मी इज मेडिसिन, like tablets and pills and all that, and I don't want that because it's going to like tamper with my emotional or chemical balance basically, and I don't want that. So people don't have the knowledge ki there's a thing called psychotherapy where you just talk to a person, or there's art therapy and music therapy. You can just choose whatever you want. So we are putting forward those kinds of knowledge, and कि होती है बहुत सारी चीजें अवेलेबल है. All you need to do is come forward and ask for help. So this is a kind of a non-judgmental environment where we are encouraging people to come forward and ask for help. It's helped a little bit, not much I can say, because after all इतने सालों का वो जो स्टिग्मा है कि यार बता दिया तो लोग क्या सोचेंगे.
True.
So that's
Correct.
it's they're coming forward, but not so much. Maybe slowly, steadily.
I think it's a beginning, and eventually people will get used to it. इतने साल का शील्ड अगर आपने बना के रखा है, so you cannot like really just let go it in a
Yeah,
week's or month's time.
if you actually see it that way, speaking about your emotions is a better shield than hiding them, because
Correct.
hiding emotions is breaking you instead of, and speaking emotions is actually giving you the shield to save yourself.
Correct.
So our analogies are only wrong. The basic analogies that we have since birth, those are problematic.
Correct. So, Natasha, if anyone wants to be a part of this group, is there something that we can do about it?
So there's a WhatsApp group link. So like mostly it's spread via, and there's a Instagram page also. So
Oh,
it's called Let's Talk Therapy. So there's a link. The WhatsApp group link is there on the page. You
okay,
can
I'm going to
go.
put all the links in the description box below. So, if you are someone who wants to be just in touch, then go and check those links out. Okay. Okay, guys, I think so. We've spoken about it enough. So, in conclusion, what would you like to say, Nidhi?
Yeah. So just For the conclusion, I would say okay, it is better to have the lesser the stigma we have around mental health, the easier it will be for people to seek out for help, and it will be easier for people to just accept that okay, okay, normal. As I would say, I have a fever today. I would say okay, I'm not feeling good today. It should be that easy, I feel.
I'd like to say that asking for help, like therapy and all these expenses that people think are expenses and luxurious, they should be considered as an investment in ourselves. Because आगे जाके, if you are not mentally stable, then there's nothing in your life that's going to go right. So asking for help is kind of an investment in yourself, in your life, that's going to make you more successful per se.
To what we just had like on this podcast per se, I would really, I mean, I'm so proud of Natasha, particularly as a young person, to start a group specifically, focusing on the awareness. Me being in the field for I think more than I've been studying about psychology since I was in 11th standard. So I did not take up that initiative. I've been using my Instagram account and my Facebook account about certain things that are happening around my life, and in a way talking about mental health specifically. But initiative particularly is really that most around would say, or people around would nowadays specifically would say, just go and ask for help, go seek therapy, but not always that therapy is going to be a cheaper one. But all we as a team could do is we could just promote free therapy addressing low rates, or people who are actually having groups like Natasha has. So these things are really important, and I'm like got a good job, Natasha.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's really, really a great initiative. And thank you, Siddharth, for having us and giving us an opportunity to contribute something at least for this.
Actually,
Yes,
thank you
to
so
be
much.
honest, I think so that in one way, as a content creator, I feel that uh, I thought that it was important that we guys address this issue. But what I feel bad about is that we had to wait for something to happen, which led us talking to this issue. But what I feel good about is that there are people talking about it. But what I do not feel good about is that there are so many people who will post something on their Instagram, just for one day, and the next day act the exact opposite about it. Okay, so whenever if someone concerned about mental health comes to you for help, the best thing that you can do is not tell him ki sab theek ho jayega and you'll get through it and so on. Okay, if you are someone who is not from that field and do not have a lot of knowledge about it, what you could do as a friend is that at least guide him to the correct source. Okay, and this is my appeal to everyone out there. If you know someone or if someone is coming to you for help, then please do not just shut him down saying ki sab theek ho jayega. Okay, that is one kind of consolation you give. But if he tells you that the problem is really serious, let's see, I'm going to compile all the numbers in my range and I'm going to put it in the description box below. If you think that a person needs professional help, please lead him to the right source. Okay, uh, in my network or in anyone I know or for anyone in the world, I would really not want is a wrong word, but really wish that nobody, suffers through mental health. And we are here for a very brief time, so let's have a good one. Okay, so I think so. With that said, have come to an end. Do we have anything to add? I don't think so. We've covered everything, right? All right, so we've come to the end of the video, and this is not a video where I say like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, whatever you feel about, and share it to people who you think should be educated on this topic. Is that it? And I'll see you guys next time with another podcast. Before ending, thank you very much to all of you for being a part of this, because I'm going to be honest, all it took for them to be a part of this was one WhatsApp message that also past 12 o'clock in the night, which I said that guys, I'm thinking of doing this, and would you guys be a part of this? So thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am, thank you Natasha, and thank you Janvi for being a part of this. Everyone, mental health OP in the comment section for these guys. Okay, with that said, bye bye. I'll see you in the next podcast.